Hello and welcome back. I was going to include this little video along or in at the end of my right to repair the new law video, but unfortunately that got, I thought, far too long as it was, and I've edited it down now as much as I can. So I've made this a little separate video about this Vidor radio that I found the other day, and I've had this 25 years, and I thought it'd make a little bit of an interesting video perhaps for some people to have a look at. Anyway, I thought I'd just explain that. So on with the video. When I was having this clear out, I came across this 1950 Vidor Lido, I think it's a C114 portable radio. It's only long and medium wave, as I say, it's 1950, it's 71 years old. Quite an interesting history this had got. A late friend of mine, who sadly I had to end up disposing of his vast radio collection when he died, he was invited to, I believe it was Kidderminster or somewhere like that, somewhere in the Worcestershire down by the River Severn area. He was invited. There was a very old radio shop that had been in existence since the 1920s, and he got invited to go and have a look around this shop when it was closing down. And in their storeroom of this old radio shop, there was loads of radios still in their original boxes that, for want of a better reason, hadn't been sold in their shop, had been returned probably because they didn't work, or they just, had them so long they'd gone out of fashion and been superseded by later sets and hadn't been sold, so they'd all got put in this storeroom. And he gave me this set from there. I mean, sadly, the store it's always the way, isn't it? The storeroom was very damp, and so this the casing, it had gone a bit rusty through the material. It's kind of only like a sort of fabric-y based paper almost stuck onto a metal box. This radio, and it's gone quite. You can see, if you'll see that, there's a little bit of rust there, and but not an unattractive set. As I say, there's the dial, and it's you do find these, and these sets aren't of great interest to me. They're not something I'd go and collect. I just got given this, and that's how I ended up with it. And I'd put it, I think it was under one of my pinball machines, and it had been there probably, I don't know, might have been 15 or 20 years since this guy, went and he bought many radios out of this shop, and I think they threw this in. They gave it to him because it was in its original box, but the box had got so damp and it just basically fell apart. I've still got the guarantee card. It's still got the ticket on to show you how to open it, and about what batteries it has to take. So it was obviously never sold for some reason. And anyway, for a laugh, and I wouldn't recommend anybody to do this if you've got an old radio. I did have a look inside of it. As I say, it's a mains battery. It needs, when I say battery, it needs like the 90 volt. It's got 90 volt high tension because it's valves. It's battery valves. Yeah, look at that. I have found this is like the high tension battery, the 90 volt battery that this would have taken. It would also need a battery for the filaments and of the valves. So you've had two batteries, this being the biggest one. And you can see that's quite a sizable battery. Amazing, really. How we've advanced, isn't it, in 71 years. Anyway, as I say, where'd I got to? Yes, I was saying about, if you find an old radio, don't just plug it in. You can do more damage. But with this, I took the back off. I don't think I'd ever tried it when he gave it to me. and I took the underside of where the battery fits in, and it looked in so good condition. It was dry, you know, it didn't look as though it had any problems at all. So I do know how to wire a plug up still, thank goodness. And as it's a mains battery set, so it's quite handy really today, because obviously you can't buy those. You can't buy that. You can't go and ask Duracell for one of those 90 volt batteries these days, unfortunately. So I put a plug on it and did this and plugged it in.
Some tweets here from Andrew Something.
And that happened.
The first two Wimbledon men's singles champions.
And there you go. 71 years. I have to say, it did go off after a few minutes, and I changed just there again. I did end up changing one, or I think it was actually two capacitors. But that's all. That's all it needed. You know, that's on the long wave. That's what was the old light program, which is obviously Radio 4 on the long wave.
He says thanks to those who have pointed out that Anthony Walden, who won between 1910 and 1913,
and
Gregory's in full.
It's amazing, really. And we bet not. If we go switch that across, that comes onto the medium wave. See if we can find don't want any music.
6-love-7-6. Naomi, thank you very much for coming up. More England, obviously.
And that's 5 live on the medium wave, or AM, as they like to call it now. I still call it medium wave. And there we go. You know, I'll unplug that. And so, you know, that made me smile, really. This right to repair, you know, legislation that has come in, and you can find a radio that has never been used. It's 71 years old. You plug it in and it works. You know, you probably buy a new television or washing machine and you're lucky to get 5 years out of it these days. We think we're advanced, and we have in many ways, haven't we? You know, a lot of things have got more reliable. But the thing about this, if you've got the basic knowledge and you've got one of those, a soldering iron and a few spare parts, you could keep that going ad infinitum. You know, as the valves are still available at the moment in time, and there's still plenty of valves out there. Now I know, you know, how many people listen to long and medium wave radios these days. You know, it's not the sound quality that we're probably used to these days. You know, even FM or digital is far superior. But I think this is what I'm saying. It comes down to how this stuff is designed and manufactured, and in this day and age, things were expensive, as they are now. I'm not going to say things, you know, but, you know, people would have bought this, or items like this, and like the Pi television behind me, the Pi FV1, and it was a heck of a lot of money. And you know, they wanted as many years out of that as possible, and they wanted it repaired if it broke, and you could either take it or have somebody come and pick it up or repair it in your house, or probably this size radio you would have took it yourself to the shop, and they might have even done it while you waited, knowing how some older radio shops worked. So we think these ideas are new. And as I say, it kind of made me smile, this Right to Repair Act, which is very good. And I hope people don't think I'm knocking it, because I'm not, because I'm all for, you know, this idea of repairing things. And there we go. That is nice. It's a nice little, it's an attractive little Vidor. As I say, it's called the Lido. Very often, you find one interesting point. I'll just switch it back on, because there we go. A lot of people, you know, younger people have never seen this stuff.
Like Christmas Eve. Yeah, and we're in July.
Obviously, when you're using this on batteries, you know, it's got quite a draw. It will draw the that big battery wouldn't last you that long. And obviously, they didn't want you to put the lid down and leave it switched on and forget about it. So it does this, so you know the radio is on, and you can't have the radio on with the lid down because it will give you that. That's quite clever, isn't it? There you go. Look at that. You know, for 1950 technology, you know, it's impossible, you know, because it'd be so easy to shut the lid down, walk away and leave the radio on, and 4 or 5 hours later, you know, you've used your high tension battery up and you've got to go off to the radio shop and invest in another one of those, which they weren't cheap by any means, they weren't. So there we go. Often you find, the one thing I like about this, it's still got its little bath, what I call the bath plug chains here. These often break, these little bits of chains, but this is also original, and I might actually in time list this one on eBay because it's not my kind of thing, and if it's of use to anybody, you know, as part, you know, the panel's in good condition. As I say, it's a shame that the cabinet has gone very rusty down the sides, and but all over, to, you know, it's not in bad nick, I suppose, really, considering it's 71 years old. But it might be, you know, a working set, and if somebody's got a really nice cabinet and, you know, having trouble getting one working or got problems with the internals, it would make a good replacement that way. So anyway, I've rambled on quite long enough, as always. As always, thanks for watching. Please do subscribe if you feel like it. Smaller channels do really appreciate it. And like, comment. Anyway, I will say all the best all the time, and catch up with you soon in another video. And as always, thanks for watching and putting up with my videos. Bye for now.